the reason why I chose Meta is simple. To me, a top pick must have significant upside and limited downside, and that's what Meta has for me. For me, in the limited downside category, you have four things driving it. You've got a cash cow business with Facebook and Instagram at great valuations, just 20 times next year's earnings. You've got $58 billion in approved buybacks for next year. So you've got a lot of buying pressure that should help keep the stock price up. And then you've got a very robust company. In the event that there is an inflationary spiral that goes out of control, Facebook's revenues will adjust due to the way their ads are placed. It's an auction, so you don't have you don't have pricing risk. And if interest rates are raised and high multiple stocks go down or are pressured, Facebook will likely not be affected or not as much because their valuation is really cheap at the moment. So those are four things that I believe limit the company's downside and also help fuel the company's upside, which is really exciting. In the upside, first, in the coming years, you have WhatsApp, which is a messaging app that you probably all know that has 2 billion users worldwide and is completely under monetized. If they can start monetizing that over the next 2, 3 to 5 years, that should have significant value to the company and significant cash flows. And then you've also got the metaverse, obviously. That's the crown jewel of the company right now. And that's the thing that excites me the most. With the metaverse, I see two big plays. One is building out the metaverse, which I believe will provide great rewards to all those companies building it out. And you've got a computing platform in the Oculus and the virtual reality glasses that should help Facebook rely less on Apple and Google. Right now, they're at the mercy of Google's and Apple's changes in their devices to their operating systems. If Facebook can create a new computing platform, it will help them have a more robust business that is less affected by other companies. So those are the two big points that I believe make Facebook my top pick. It has very limited downside and huge upside. So that's basically where I'm at. And I have 10 seconds left, so I'll leave it there.
So if we look at the chart, we can see it's on an upward trending channel. It's got a bounce from the support of the channel, which is a good entry for swing trades, but also long-term buying and holding. There is also a blue resistance line that's very little trading's happened in. So you can expect the price to have a little bit of problems trying to pass that later on down the line. Now, we also have an inverted head and shoulders formation at the current price action. If that does get completed, it also means it will break the resistance. So that's a confluence of bullish factors right there. Now, if we look at the moving averages, we can see that even with retracements, the 50 MA has not been able to break the 200 MA. And if you look at the highlighted squares, you can see just how well these lines have been respected as support and resistance ones going forward. And you can also notice how they're beginning to converge to form almost a bit of a squeeze. Now, if we look at the volume here, there was a massive negative spike down on earnings, but the bullish volume has taken over substantially. So there are still a lot of buyers for this. So in summary, I personally couldn't be more bullish on Facebook. The MAs are well respected, so consider them when positioning yourself. It's risky to wait for a retracement. I don't expect much more, but the volume is very strong and bullish.
So when do you see Facebook Reality Labs overtaking the apps in terms of revenues?
I don't have a timeline. I expect at least 5 to 10 years. I don't think in the near term they'll overtake Facebook's business right now, the legacy business.
Yep. So a little bit of a concern in the form of a question. Do you think that the stigma of Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg prevent them from ever being able to transition to this major metaverse company, and that these reality labs ever actually surpass their current revenues?
Yes, I mean, there is a risk with Mark there. I personally like him, but I know there's a significant negative press from him. But I don't think in the long term, if they build things right, it'll be a problem. I think what they're building is so exciting that those concerns will go away, especially if they can limit the concerns about privacy issues.
So my question would be, how does WhatsApp losing a lot of users to its competitor like Telegram and Signal recently because of its terms and conditions impact Meta in future?
Yeah, I don't think Facebook has, oh, sorry, WhatsApp has lost significant users. I think obviously Telegram and Signal grew. They had a spike, but as far as I know, WhatsApp didn't lose much users. And I think they're complementary apps. I don't think anyone deleted WhatsApp just to move to Telegram. And unless literally billions of people move to Telegram, I don't see WhatsApp going away, because you're not going to go to an app that is not that doesn't have your contacts in it. I wouldn't, at least.
So Alberto, you mentioned that if Facebook managed to monetize WhatsApp, that'll be quite a massive revenue stream for them. Are you aware of any plans in the pipeline or anything imminently that's going to mean they can monetize WhatsApp?
Yeah. So they've been going mostly through the commerce route. In not in the US much, but I think in developing economies, they're going through the commerce route, trying to set up stores in WhatsApp and driving commerce through there. And if they can drive a significant portion of commerce through WhatsApp, they can build out a seller ecosystem, and maybe, create seller payments. I know they've been trying to, well, they did create WhatsApp payments in India. They had a roadblock in Brazil. But I think if they can go through that commerce route and build out a seller ecosystem, it is a significant value proposition, similar to what Square does. Obviously not at the fintech level, but in that similar route. The question is, how capital intensive will building up the metaverse offerings be? Will this limit upside in the near term and medium term? So I think right now Facebook set up a budget of like 50 billion for the next 5 years to build out the metaverse. I think that's not enough. I think they'll likely dedicate at least 100 billion over the next decade, which helps probably Unity, my competitor in this competition. But I don't think it will be a drag on Facebook. They still generate a lot more than 10 billion a year, which is what they're planning to invest. So I don't think it'll be a drag. I think it might actually increase the company's multiple significantly from 20 PE to maybe 30, 40.